Okay, this is a test to make sure that everything is working as expected. Okay, everything is working as expected. Please give me just 1 minute and I will be right with you. And thank you to anybody that's here for being patient with me. I mean that. Okay. I'm pretty sure everyone can hear me properly. Oh, I appear to be in echo. Give me 1 minute. Okay. Nope, still echoey. Great for a vocal effect. Bad for actually continuing forward. Okay. Nope, still echoey. But that said, please let me know if you can hear me properly. Nope, still echoey. Is it coming through the desktop? Okay. I think I've got it covered. If someone would please let me know if the device is working properly, I would greatly appreciate it. Thank you. I'm gonna double check it on my end, because if it's working through, you know, Twitch or YouTube, it'll be working here too. I'm just gonna shift over to another screen so I'm not giving you guys a streamception. One more time for all the kiddies at home. Okay. After a bit of technical difficulty, ladies and gentlemen, we are back. Just gonna type in one notice. Okay. I've been unable to identify what the box didn't say redemption. I wasn't able to do that. Monkey Funk, if you happen to be here, my good sir, would you mind telling me which word you redeemed? While I figure out, not while I figure out, excuse me, while, we kind of conclude events for today. If and you happen to be here. If not, you know, I don't blame you. Technical difficulties do usually make most of a streamer's audience vanish. So, for those who were not present for that little hiccup, let me explain what just happened. So, a bunch of drivers were I should say they were in need of an upgrade. But a bunch of devices started randomly taking up disk space. Like, way more disk space than I could possibly envision. Such that the computer's disk space was completely occupied. Normally there's a percentage of disk that's empty. The stream usually pushes it. But today it just went completely past any self-imposed barrier. My only escape was to restart the computer, like just straight up. Now my keyboard, which was also secondarily acting up during all this, also began crapping out at about the same time. It has not finished crapping out yet, but I have to press on. Let me see if I can't do another shout out for my good compeer, Monkey Funk 4D. Worked like a charm. Oh, let's try to wrap up these last 2 hours without glitching, shall we? So from what I've looked, apparently we should just be able to pull a lever and, you know, everything will be fine. That's the idea. We basically have a final boss to go deal with. And as far as I understand, going through the Versailles area and getting the or excuse me, the Royal Alley. Going through the Royal Alley is what's going to allow us... Oh, I think I pulled my back. It would be just like me. Everything's fine, and then I pull my shoulder a bit. Oh, yeah, I need to take it easier. I'm gonna pull my back. Sorry, guys. I wasn't expecting all this to go wrong. Not today. Not whatsoever. Let's go back to the orangery. The orange orchard. That's what I feel just happened is the computer just decided to squeeze orange juice into my eyeballs and say, doesn't that feel good?
The courtyard is this way. Someone is expecting me. I can feel it. I must prepare for the worst.
Before we go that way... Oh, really? Doesn't this just bring us back out, though? Yeah, so here's the carriage. Are we at least able to use its other services? Well, you can actually leave. Or you can at least attempt to leave. I don't think we're going to be able to leave, nor do I want to. All I really want is to go this way. And just kind of make sure I don't miss this memory echo that's right here. Yeah, so here that is. So if we go straight ahead, this should take us to it. Yeah, so here's this first Vestal that we never went through. So I just went immediately over without even bothering to poke my head in here, which is just god-awful. Yay, we're on track. Kind of. We're kind of on track. I actually wouldn't consider this quite on track yet, but it's close enough for my purposes. Might as well check out all these buildings and just make sure there's nothing here. Really? So, anyone else ever have, you know, not necessarily streamer issues, but have you ever had a moment where you were feeling fine, everything was working perfectly according to plan, and then all of a sudden, no. Life said no. Everything just started turning to absolute mush. Computer fails to work. Hands struggle to put the pen to paper. Calculator malfunctioned during an exam. And so just couldn't finish whatever intensive calculation you were trying to do. Or the lab sensing machines breaking down in such a way that neither you nor the instructor could figure out what it is you were supposed to, not what you were supposed to be doing, but figure out no way to proceed forward. And no way to continue forward either, so... The day just ends up kind of being a massive waste of time. This isn't on that level, but it was bad. I did have to reset. I did have to restart. Nice. Okay, game. Computer, just everything. I need you to calm it down for 2 hours, please. Can I get that? Is that manageable? No? Yes? Yesn't, even? To use everyone's favorite word?
You've come back to us.
My child. My sweet child.
It's all right, my queen. He's stopped shouting. The doctors are with him.
When will they let me hold him?
Don't worry. I'm sure that...
Oh, look! He's moving! My son! Oh, my son! Grâce à Dieu! We've done it!
He's alive, Gabrielle! Yes, my queen, he has been saved! Praise be to the good Dr. Lemonnier!
Mon Dieu!
What's going on, Gabrielle?
Here! Stop that, Your Majesty! Silence, everyone! Louis XVI! Hear my voice!
My child!
Seigneur! Oh, mon Dieu! What on earth? Your Majesty! We must retreat! Leave this here! Go!
Oh, my queen!
Close that door!
De Grasse, let me see him!
No, madame, it is over.
You must go to Versailles.
No, my son! My darling angel!
The long night in Moudon even. This is it, ladies and gentlemen. This is what we were missing. What, for some god-forsaken reason, I just could not. I just didn't even think to go this way, quite frankly. Now we're good. We can go back through here now. You know, assuming that the game actually lets us do this, which, lo and behold, no, it's not. It's gonna make us do this. Fine. Fine, game. One more stain on the night, I guess. Hopefully everybody's having a better day than yours truly right now. I was not, my day was fine until, you know, the last 15-20 minutes happened. For those of you on YouTube, I truly am sorry. I was hoping this would be an intact series, but it appears reality wanted to make sure that I did not escape my chains. And what happened with Elden Ring and Blasphemous happened here too. I'm gonna do my best to stitch that together, but I make no promises. This has put me into the category of being behind again. Hopefully work is not unbearable. Family is not mistreating, and so many other things. I hope everything is going well for you guys on the other side, you know, between our outside the bond of our two screens. Things could certainly be worse, and you know they will be as soon as the 20th strikes. But that's a future I'll have to entertain then. under what circumstance am I being blocked from... Okay, I need to make it back over. Okay, we're over here. Let's get to this Vestal. Nope. Quickly. Oh. So I believe we take this over here. And we have an achievement to confirm what we were doing, so really it is just a matter of, you know, beating the actual game, literally. We also have the replacement lever, which I'm pretty sure is what we were looking for. Or was it? No, I'm gonna be too vulnerable to repair. I have even less tolerance for your metal-plated kind compared to usual. Yay! I guess let's look at the key inventory before we lose it. Oh. This vial contains ammonium salts used to revive ladies who have fainted from overwhelming emotion. As Aegis grasped it, she was struck by a grim vision of the conditions of the Dauphin's death at the Chateau de Moudon. The queen, confined to an antechamber, was forbidden to comfort her son in his final moments. This is it. You guys excited, ladies and gentlemen and non-binary people? I know I'm excited. Oh, hello. Matrix level scenes right here. Neo himself would be quite proud. And here we have it, ladies and gents. The Iron Queen. she is very resistant. Dang it. I need to be careful. That is a living wall of anima right there. Wow.
You struggle in vain, dancer! You're not long for this world!
Oh, see how the Aegis turns against its master.
You are not my master, tyrant. You never were.
I am quite happy to concede this point, but what about the Count? Have you forgotten that he gave you life and whispered the order that animates you? Look how he runs, the coward. Do you understand what he has in mind? La pauvre enfant, sleeping so sweetly, she won't be dreaming for long now.
Croissant. Antoninus!
Wow, this cutscene is not optimized at all.
Don't move!
The time has come to set you free, Aegis. This whore's soul has poisoned your cogs for too long. Adieu, Zat puppet.
No!
Auntie Devine, I don't want to die.
Antoninus. The sun is rising. And you have slept for far too long. The beauty of this world longs for you. Just as you long for its light. For you are like the flowers that open in the morning. I know you, mon ami. We loved each other. Vous en souvient-il? You gave me your heart. So please, let me give you mine today. Vive heureuse, Antoninus. For it is happily that I leave this world.
This way, monsieur.
feeling glad that the soul animating this damn automaton has been returned to its human recipient. I don't mind the shock and awe, but what I do mind is, you know, there should be some smiling, some human exchange. But I digress. I was about to say, I was wondering when the Versailles music was going to disappear and, you know, we were going to have to deal with the empty loading screen again. I want a break, so I'm very conflicted. I'll go ahead and say it. I'm very conflicted. On one hand, I want to start New Game Plus. On the other hand, this has been a garbled mess. Like, the lack of optimization regarding the cutscenes is a real sticking point for this game. The combat isn't balanced. I should save my review for the credits. And after a certain cutscene, for those of you who know your French history, you know to what I speak of, and that'll be about it. And for those of you who don't know, don't Google filthy cheater. Watch the cutscene with me, and then I'll explain. I jest. I can't really stop you from looking it up if you want to. It's a fantastic piece of history. I only wish that you know, I don't wish I was alive to see it, because that was a very different time period. I, a man born in 1992, do not belong in the time period of 1781. I would not survive. The world just wasn't as liberal and forward-thinking as it is today. I suppose I shouldn't say that. I mean, the Enlightenment period wasn't that far off. Oh, hello. Ah, yes, Gregoire. Just stare at us longingly.
Monsieur, we have the king. It is now up to us to wield his scepter. In this trying time, crucial decisions must be made without delay.
First and foremost, we must take back Paris.
And how do we do that, mon Dieu? There are automats everywhere, and they are constantly regenerated by their crimes.
My strategy is the only viable solution. Monsieur Laclos' cannonballs filled with vitriol.
And where will we find the means to carry out your plan?
The city of Versailles is full of ateliers and shops. Moreover, as far as we have been able to see, the king's army has barely been deployed there, and it will not be too risky to look around.
Very well. Now, regaining control of Paris depends on our combined efforts.
Mais ensuite, once peace has been restored, what of the kingdom?
This is indeed a crucial issue. Leaving the nation without a government would expose it to the greatest danger.
Worse, it would condemn it to civil war.
Eh bien quoi, monsieur? Can you not govern together?
Unfortunately, the disagreements that divide our assembly run far too deep. That which we can agree is that we have been given a chance to choose the person who shall succeed the tyrant.
I have earned the honor of leading this old nation 100 times over.
Allons, you can't be serious. Do you think we're ready to forgive your disloyal plotting so easily?
I do not forget what I'm accused of, Monsieur de Robespierre, but you must consider my achievements.
We are listening, Monsieur le Marquis.
To begin with, I rescued the Dauphin from his father's clutches and ensured the dynasty's stability. The child will reign as Henri V. We will appoint someone with great wisdom to act as regent until he comes of age.
Fie. The people do not need a crowned puppet.
Yes, they do. Now more than ever before. Once the Assembly has adopted a constitution, The people will welcome a sovereign who will protect it.
A king and a constitution, like oil and water.
Go on, Monsieur le Marquis.
Monsieur, I rest my case.
That is quite the crown of laurels you've woven for yourself, Monsieur le Marquis. But your proven duplicity makes you forever unworthy of holding power.
Then be satisfied, monsieur, for I forswear it.
Excellent.
Cependant, there is one member of this assembly who remains loyal to both the monarchy and to the nation, and whose reputation has not been tarnished. If he agrees to become regent, I pledge to dedicate myself to his service. What do you say, Monsieur de Mirabeau?
Oh, this is unexpected. It would be an honor, of course, but I wasn't prepared for this.
Allons. Do you really think anyone will believe that?
Very well, monsieur. Now we must decide. Who among you approves the motion of the Marquis de Lafayette?
Did I get the Lafayette ending? You can't be serious. What did I do to get this ending? I could have sworn I was going for the, Robespierre ending. But I mean, that's the dialogue that was just shown. It's not like it's gonna turn around and there's the Robespierre. I accidentally got the Mirabeau ending? Is that what happened?
The court bows before the Comte de Mirabeau,
That's exactly
Regent
what
du
happened.
Royaume de France.
What did I do? What did I do wrong?
Louis de Bourbon, former King of France, in the name of King Henri, fifth of his name, in light of the innumerable crimes of which you have been found guilty, this extraordinary royal court sentences you to the ultimate atonement. The sentence will be carried out on the hour. In its great mercy, the court will now hear your last words.
My loyal subject, since you must lead a lamb to the altar, since you must offer a sacrifice to this new France that you intend to found, I will be that sacrifice. How dreadful this world is, where beauty is doomed to fade and flesh decays. I found no consolation in this world. I vainly thought I was giving our souls the gift of immortality beyond our mortal bodies. The Grim Reaper was my sworn enemy. Influenced by the most awful of men, I believed that the genius of machinery could overcome death itself. Alas, I have lost this fight, and am branded with a mark of murderer. Life, even more than the crown, was heavy for me to bear. I have suffered too long under the thumb of nature, which I despised. As a child, I saw my older brother die. I lost my father in the prime of his life, and then my mother, who was even younger. My beloved daughter did not live a year. As for my son, the first of my heirs, I unknowingly gave him to drink from a poisoned cup. I mourn the death of these poor souls daily. My death will not unite us, of this I am certain. For I, in my misery, have lost the support of my faith. Sir, executioner, lay me down on this board of adieu. I will sleep at last, and not to dream.
There's Atanias. You guys were warned. Okay, I'm gonna quiet the game for a bit while I talk. So, that was Steelrising, ladies and gentlemen. You know, I won't say it's the best game I've played in the world. It's not the only Spiders product I have. I have one more and I've kept talking about it. And, you know, what I will say about these games is when they work well, when they're well-oiled, and they're actually optimized, they're beautiful. They're lovely to look at. Spiders really knows what it's doing when it comes to designing set pieces and environments. Is it the best? No, but it's the best that France has to offer. I realize it sounds a little bit minimizing, but what I mean is these guys are some of the best at their jobs for France. Just like, I would say, I'm trying to think of a good American game dev company. I'm struggling to think of it. I would say Bethesda, but not in recent years. Larian Studios, although even then I wouldn't call it the best. I would say Larian Studios is a pretty good showcase of what, you know, American dev teams can do if given the budget and the chance. I really do mean that. Moving back to Steelrising, this is considered the best, and it shows. Awesome game, but there are definitely some things holding it back. Things that even mods can't fix. Like, just to give people an example, the level of experience required for a level is a little bit high. You do have to spend a long time killing things in order to level up. Everything being upgradable is great. It means everything in the game is modular. However, by making everything upgradable, you reduce the game's stability. Also, in the end, making everything upgradable and making everything so scalar means that the start and the end of the game didn't really change. You were always trying to get to the point of, I can kill everything in, as long as I've got the skill and, you know, my gear is upgraded well, you could do, like, massive damage. Also, I've been told and I've been shown through video footage that the agility builds are superior, which is exactly... Okay, it's not exactly a carbon copy of Liza P, but Liza P had this issue too, where the elemental systems were a bit of an afterthought, and either strength or agility or the stand-ins for those games is what ended up being like the choice. In Liza P's case, excuse me, it's big unga bunga go smash. Get a nice big two-handed weapon, put a grindstone to it if you want for elemental damage, go to town. You know, block like hell, like defense comes first. Here in Steelrising, you're at a crossroads, but even between crossroads of power versus agility, agility builds the impact meter. The more agility you have, along with, you know, engineering, the more impact damage you are going to do per swing, which means you get free criticals. There's a reason why I said the agility build is considered the superior build. in both cases, between both games, I have chosen, because I'm a sucker for this sort of thing, I've chosen elemental damage. And that means, make sure I'm speaking right directly into this, because I have chosen elemental damage, I have gimped myself a little bit, but it was fun. I enjoyed not being overpowered, except in scenarios where I created that situation. When I realized, oh, you can chain freeze things, a lot of the enemies became trivialized, but not because I was doing unga bunga or, you know, critting over and over again, but because I found the disabling element and proceeded to use it. There were at least 2 Titans in here that were entirely trivialized because I did something. And it's accounted for by design in the game. There is no me do big number, me go smash. I actually still had to fight. Now, that doesn't mean those builds are wrong or anything. And they're just not my cup of tea. I don't like doing that sort of thing. There's a reason in Elden Ring that I cast spells. I'm not as strong as someone who is going unga bunga or just zipping around the battlefield every which way. But let me go ahead and turn this back to where it should be. Now, something else. And I think this is just the biggest mark. I think this is the biggest mark against this game that I'm gonna probably give it in a while. Just to make sure I get this correct. I think one of the biggest flaws with the game is the story writing. And what I mean by that, or maybe not even the story writing. The story writing is whatever. I suppose what I should say is the way you navigate the story is what's wrong about it. I really enjoyed the fact that I was an agent of the Queen, a mechanical agent of the Queen, who, despite all odds, finally managed to outwit Cagliostro and the king. I enjoyed the fact that we met some of the famous historical figures of the French Revolution, and some that were still famous but had nothing to do with the French Revolution. I like that there were mechanical robots to sufficiently detach the game from its dark, grim inspiration where tens of thousands of people probably lost their life, if not more. And that's between what the monarchy did, as well as the events that preceded the French Revolution, and what happened during Robespierre's reign of terror. Like, there were a ton of people escorted to the gallows and guillotined, like beheaded. That was happening more often than Dumbo flapping his ears and flying through a flaming ring through one of those circuses. That was happening a lot. But not having any real control over the ending is a death sentence for a game like this. I want to know exactly which ending I'm getting based on actions I've taken. I know, for example, that if I'm in Elden Ring and I don't do anything, I am getting the neutral ending. If I go through and complete Ronnie's questline, I know I'm getting the Age of Stars. If I do Thea's quest and complete it, which has a ton of steps, I know that I'm getting the Age of Dusk, so on and so forth. If I go through Skyrim and I choose to help the Imperials, to help the Blades, or what's left of them, And I also choose to broker some kind of arrangement between the dragons, the graybeards, and the blades. My choices will be reflected in the ending. I know that if I choose the NCR in Fallout New Vegas, like, that'll be reflected in the ending. I think that's the biggest drag of it for me, personally. It's just, I was bummed. I did all this work to help Robespierre out and go for the what we would call in the business a canon ending, but I got the loyalist one instead. That is far and away my biggest gripe with this game, is you have to do A and not B, but it's not obvious. You do A and not B. Which I guess that means we get to showcase the Robespierre ending this time. And of course I did go ahead and change the endings of the bottom. Whoops, try it. This is me not knowing what my orientations are. Especially as I'm looking in a mirror. I'm bad at looking in the mirror and doing that stuff. That's why I like to tie ties without a mirror, by the way, because I get messed up by mirrors. Bottom middle of your screen, I adjusted who the leader and who the captured were. Now we know. So, in terms of capturing, like whether we fought the soul of the queen or the soul of Gabrielle Polignac, that part, flick of a switch. Just either get the documents or don't. You can even choose to not tell the queen, and then you would have fought Gabrielle instead. This is something I just knew from looking it up. That's fine. That part, that choice, I had no problem. It was crystal clear what I was doing. It's just getting the ending. Stupid difficult. I even made sure, Lafayette was exposed, and I confronted Mirabeau. Maybe I should have threatened him instead of questioning him. Maybe that's what should have happened. If it was really as infinitesimally small as that one choice, choosing whether or not to threaten Mirabeau versus question him, that makes me upset. Because again, there should have been indicators on this stuff. Maybe someone will make a mod, or more likely, this game is probably, I wouldn't say abandoned. There are people who play it, but certainly no prolific mod makers. It definitely got a few texture mods, some hair, the occasional rewrite of experience, but no mechanical overhauls or anything like that. It became abandoned by the modding community, and maybe for good reason. The game is fine. If you care about which ending you're getting, it's going to be a rough ride for you. Now, moving on to the gameplay. Gameplay was fine. I like the in-between nature of it being a Souls-like, but it also being an action-adventure platformer game. I liked that combo. I don't mind the movement upgrades. I wish there were more of them. I wish I had the ability to double jump, which I know is so cliche, but there's a reason why it's included in platformers. It just works. Cliche things work. It's why they're cliche. I wish maybe you had gotten the ability. I know the module gives this to you, but I wish there had been some way to maybe go into a hyper dash. Not the mid-air dash we got, but like hyper speed or speed booster from Super Metroid. That would have been fun. Just turbo dashing through high-speed sections. I'm not sure the game would handle that real well, so it's probably for the best, but... The elemental weaknesses were not well balanced, but this was fine. I didn't mind that. Other people would probably say, ugh, ice is, like, freezing is too overpowered. Fix that. And fire electricity boiled down to, do you do extra attack damage or do you just burn the enemy over time? Like it was almost the same status. Not quite, but close. The weapons that I did try out were a lot of fun. They were a little bit quirky to figure out their exact, their exact effects, but that's fine. You do experimenting in Souls-like games all the time to figure out what weapons work and what their swing patterns are, etc., etc. I'm a little bit, not miffed, that's the wrong word. I guess I was expecting a little bit more combo interplay other than spam light or do the heavy a couple of times, and that's really about it. But then again, I stuck to claws once I found them. Once I found a good claw I actually liked, some part of that is on me for not breaking it up with some repetition. Which, in New Game Plus, we will be cracking out the upgrades like no tomorrow and trying different weapons and seeing what I do and don't like. I do apologize again for the... Well, let me hold on. Coin is trying to get ahead of himself. And I'm not gonna take the usual break I would take here. I have my reasons for that, which I'll enumerate momentarily. So, overall, and I thought, I did, for what it's worth, I did think the side quests and the character interactions were great. I wish the facial expressions had been a bit better. I definitely got Mass Effect Andromeda vibes from all of the, revolutionaries that defaulted to like a what I would call a Skyrim body slider, modded body slider facial expression, where it was hyper exaggerated that they defaulted to a certain emotional expression. I wish that hadn't been the case, but that's like a nitpicky critique for me. It bothers me, but it's not going to keep me from playing the game. What else? The music was fantastic. Of what areas got a actual non-ambient composition? The orchestration was great. When the game is running like a well-oiled machine, the graphics are awesome. I wish I'd been able to run it at max settings. Regretfully, I cannot. I don't have a 4K graphics card or an NVIDIA 4000 series card. I wish I had one, but I don't. So I'm giving you guys the best I have with the hardware that I, in fact, do have. I would say out of 10, I'd give this game like a 7. Maybe a 7.5. 7.5, excuse me. There's lots of great stuff in here. The setting chosen gave the story a lot of the necessary scaffolding. It was fun coming up with the informational stuff for this game that I was able to come up with. I do still intend on completing New Game Plus of this. I feel robbed. I feel Robespierre even. And I do want the non-loyalist ending. The Jacobite ending belongs to Robespierre, and the loyalist endings are both Lafayette and Mirabeau's together. They share the same side. But I need to look into how I'm gonna do this. How I'm gonna get the Robespierre ending exactly. Because if I don't, I'm gonna drive myself insane. trying to think if there's anything else I wanted to say. Voice acting was fine. Oh, well, it actually was pretty good. I'm not just fine, but good. There was definitely a lot of effort put into the voice lines, especially with the DLC. Having Anthony Howell definitely helps. No, I enjoyed listening to these old fogies do their talking. And it was also I would say the one criminal thing is that Julian Raymond did not get a chance to have any major part in all this, but well, I guess I shouldn't say that, but the slaves aspect felt very one-dimensional to me. It was just yes, here's this ghastly thing. Here's a little bit of interaction between Robespierre and Julian Raymond about how best to go about solving the problem, and then Robespierre getting chided out for his regrettably, racist response. And then, a bunch of holier-than-thou men plus Julian Raymond saying, hey, we need you to look into this. We found it. It's ghastly. Everyone says it's awful. And then we move on. I wish there had been a little bit more explored in that. But maybe it kind of matches up with the fact that it was a significant issue during the French Revolution, but it wasn't important enough, in quotes, by the rest of the rebels, the rest of the Jacobites, that it just kind of it was addressed when it was needed to be addressed, and then it was pushed under the rug when it was inconvenient. So maybe in that way it does make some sense. But the lack of having any real fine control over your ending, the lack of optimization on certain cutscenes, the sometimes clunky combat, it pushes this game down a lot. Lies of P has maybe a couple of bugs here and there. And it was great. And I would say the presentation is only a little too moderately better. I realize I'm trying to put a contest between, apples and pomegranates, but at least they're both red fruit. We could talk about them. I'm glad to have experienced Steelrising, and we'll lump together New Game Plus into the final discussion. Let me go ahead and address something else, and I guess I'll just say I think the game has had significant polish, and it has had, thanks to its balancing and patches, I think it sits at a nice, comfortable 7. It's good, but there's definitely better, and there are a lot of things dragging the game down, at least for me. But the experience was still enjoyable. I still enjoyed, showcasing the game, even if there was a hiccup at the end and I'm gonna have to patch 2 VODs together. I can figure that out. We could do that. I do intend to show you guys, the full video, but going back to what I was about to address. I know I normally have people vote on things. However, what I'm a little bit less sure on is where exactly we want to go with all this. Do you guys want me to get back to challenge running? So I've already got everything ready to go for that. I just need to make sure ERR is patched to the latest version. I guess I could find a way to make this into a vote. I don't want to deny you guys your privileges, for any reason. But of course, if this does go to a long-form content format, which I have no problem with, you know, that is going to change the dynamic of what I'm doing. That's going to be 4 content series that I'm trying to do, and I'm going to have to readjust my schedule right back to grinding every day in Elden Ring Reforged. I don't know if I can do that, but I'm going to put it to a vote anyway. Because I love you guys that much, 1. And 2, again, I don't want to deny you your benefits and privileges. One of those for subbing here is the ability to vote on future content. And technically, this is the completion of the mainline game, plus its DLC. We really would just be doing a victory lap while we try to get the correct ending. And if you guys don't want to see that, you know, except in video posting form, I would love to get that out of the way. So stay tuned for announcements on that. I will put a bolo out on the Discord and tell people on YouTube to come here. Come here to the Discord so they can vote. And I will likely give that, I'd say, a week. Because I definitely, if I'm going to be doing Elden Ring Reforged stuff, I certainly don't want to be waiting long to do it. Given what's happened today, I am going to cut and run. And I do want to thank everybody so much for hanging out with me. Your company means the world to me, it really does. Especially in this dour, dark world that I'm finding myself. Not necessarily coming out of ignoring or anything, but just having it actually affect me on a more profound level. I just really want to thank you guys for sitting in here with me about this. Yeah, I am definitely going to cut and run today. Let's get out some shout-outs. One I really do want to make today, and I usually don't do it for this chap. His name is the Happy Hog. I've done it sometimes, but I try to shout out smaller people if I can. But this content is just too novel to ignore. Let's go ahead and do that now. There is a no-death hardcore run with apparently a couple of other folks in here. Yeah, there's 2 other people that are doing a WoW Classic no-death run. If you guys like bigger streamers, go check them out. Being deathly serious about that. That's the kind of thing. It's on the same level as a Lobos Jr. Iron Man run for WoW. And if you guys like that, you guys are going to love Deathless in WoW too. That's not cheap, by the way. Then, as for the second person I'll be shouting out today, if you guys like partner, like people achieving or maintaining partner, please go check out the Nora Darkwolf. She works really hard on her content. She's playing some Lethal Company, which is a game she's been playing a lot. I don't know what else I have an inkling of. No, I'm part of her Discord, so I have a good idea of what she's doing. But it's best if you just go see it for yourselves. Go check out the lovely Frog Queen. She's playing Lethal Company, as I've already said. And Lethal Company is a lot of fun with friends. I wouldn't know from personal experience. I don't have the game. But if I did, I'd probably play it with friends. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Anyway, thank you guys so much for, being on this journey with me. I really do appreciate it. I'm sorry I couldn't give it to you in a whole 1 ounce package. It ended up being piecemeal in the end anyway, but I stuck through it. I solved my problems by pushing the big fat reset button, and then, I did what I could to give you guys the best experience I could possibly give for a game like this. We'll be back, let's see, it's Thursday? Yeah, I'm gonna need to seriously think about what I'm doing tomorrow. I might do a randomizer, a Ocarina of Time Majora's Mask randomizer, just to kind of give myself a palate cleanse while I let you guys vote on what's coming next, which everyone can vote, but subs and patrons get double quantity on their votes, so consider following, subscribing, or becoming a Patreon and Coffee member today if you would like your votes to be worth double. And with that, thank you guys on YouTube and Twitch. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. And I guess I'll see you guys tomorrow with something quick and less thought-inducing, shall we say. Take care of yourselves, my senators and inductees. Stay safe, and goodbye.